how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. In today's video, I wanted to kind of bring back and revamp a series that I kind of mildly started back in 2021. I didn't really intend on it being a series back then. But I basically was going through different colors of the rainbow and chatting about my favorite makeup products in that color category. I really only did it for a handful of things. Like I think I did yellow and maybe green. Like I didn't do a whole lot, but I thought it could be fun to kind of bring that back and maybe eventually try to get through all of the colors of the rainbow. So yeah, that's my plan today. I'm excited to hear your opinions on not only these products, but just your favorites in each category as well. I think it could be fun just to kind of chat with each other about our favorite things. Maybe you have some recommendations for other people. I think it's just gonna be a fun, colorful time. And to kick it off, I wanted to start with black slash kind of gray because I really don't have that much gray makeup. But I wanted to start with black because I feel like that could be an easy one to miss if I start with all the fun colors. And I was gonna go in rainbow order and start with red, but with Valentine's Day just happening recently, I did like a Valentine's favorites video. I was like, I don't really want to do red right this second. So I was like, let me start with black. And then we'll go from there. Before we get into it though, I did of course film this look. It should already be up on my Instagram and TikTok by the time this video goes up. Obviously tried to keep with kind of a black theme for this. And as far as my accessories go, I only have a wig today. This is just an Amazon wig. It's kind of old. So yeah, without further ado, let's just hop in and chat about my favorite black makeup. So this isn't the biggest pile. This will probably be one of the smaller ones in this series just because with black, like obviously I don't have any black blushes to talk about. I don't have black highlighters. That's just not really a thing. So this is more so focused on eye products and a lot of lip products. I actually have some stellar favorite black lipsticks that I want to share with you. And again, lightly touching on gray as well, just because I already know for a fact I do not have enough gray to dedicate its own video. I don't work with gray very often. And honestly, same with white. Don't expect a white video just because I really don't use that many white things. I rarely use white eyeshadow. I very rarely use like a white eye pencil, and if I do, it's probably just, where did it go? Probably just the white Oden's eye pencil. I just don't use white very often. So don't hold your breath for a white video. We're just gonna get into like doing the black and gray today. Maybe I'll do brown eventually, like neutral tones. I might even do that next actually, just to get it out of the way since obviously I don't play with neutrals often. And then we will get into all the colors of the rainbow. But kicking it off with black, let's just start with the eyes because I do my eyes before my lips. As far as eyeshadows go, not a huge pile. I honestly don't use black that often. I do like a grungy look and I also like color, but I really don't utilize black very often. When I do, it's a very specific reason, like something like today. I rarely grab a black eyeshadow just to deepen something up. I usually use a darker version of the colors that I'm using, like a really dark green, dark purple, dark blue, something like that. But when I do want to use black, I have very specific, very few favorites that I want to share. If I was looking for a whole palette like I used today for this kind of black, smoky, grayscale kind of look, the black Jasmine Quad from Kaleidos is going to be my go-to every single time. It is so pretty. These are so blendable and so pigmented. This black eyeshadow is amazing. And if you're looking for a really good silver shimmer, this one is really, really good as well. And even though I personally don't reach for quads very often, I do prefer slightly more shadows, like at least 6 pans, 9 pans is my favorite. This is just such a killer quad. It does exactly what I need when I want this kind of vibe. So this is my go-to #1 favorite. And as far as my perfect favorite black eyeshadow of all time that is available as a single is from the Creepy Cute palette from Shroud Cosmetics. The shade Void, again, you can pick this up as a single. It is such a good black. It's just the ultimate black eyeshadow. It's just so good and dark and pigmented and blendable. It is my ultimate black. This palette looks like it's barely touched, but that's because the owner sent me a new one when Creepy Cute 2 launched last year. But my old one was very abused. I had gone through so much of Void. It is such a good black eyeshadow. And now I don't really have any black shimmers to talk about, but I figured I would kind of share with you like the trick that's on my lids. It's not really a trick, but if I were to do a black eyeshadow and wanted it to have a little bit of a sparkly moment like I have on my eyes today, my go-to would be to grab my highlighter, specifically my Fenty How Many Carats Diamond Bomb. This is just the perfect topper because it's just like wet looking. It's wet and sparkly. I'll tap some of this over the black. That's what I did for this look today. But it just gives it that glossy, sparkly kind of look. It's such a good highlighter, such a good topper. This is one of my favorite products of all time. But that's just my little trick if I wanted to beef up a black eyeshadow, make it sparkly. Obviously, I'm sure that there are sparkly black eyeshadows out there. I just don't really use any. And this is my go-to if I want something like that. Moving into eyeliner now. As far as pencils go, I'm really not too picky. I do tightline my upper waterline every time I do my makeup with a black, just so that it's nice and dark, and especially when I wear false lashes, even though I'm not wearing them today, I like to make sure that's nice and dark under there, and I'll use pretty much anything. And as far as my waterline goes, if I'm doing black in my waterline, I always like to smudge it out with a pencil brush. So as long as it's able to be smudged around and it doesn't pull and tug, I'm pretty okay with it. At the moment, these two are probably my two favorites. This KVD Beauty Trooper liner is pretty good, although the cap gets stuck all the time. It's pretty creamy, pretty dark, pretty black. It's a good solid pencil. I'm probably getting pretty low on this one actually. Oh, actually, I still have a little ways to go, so that's nice. And then I also love this one from Milk. This one's called Outer Space. I used a black eye pencil from Milk Makeup years ago. I don't know if it exists anymore. I know it wasn't called Outer Space, it was called something else, but that was my all-time favorite black. And then I ran out of it and I was just using other stuff. But they did send me this one again fairly recently, or again, for the first time fairly recently. And it's also just so creamy, so black. It smudges really nicely, but it also stays put once it's like sat for a second. These are really good pencils, definitely my go-to right now. As far as liquid liner goes, the Rare Beauty one, absolute favorite. I've gone through a couple of these. I really enjoy the brush tip on it. It's kind of, I don't know, it flows onto the skin nicely. It doesn't tug on my lids. I feel like it has a really nice pointy tip. And it's just really black and it's smooth. I can do both eyes at the same time without it drying out. Overall, this is just my favorite one currently. I think it's a fantastic black liquid liner. As far as gel liner goes, this Blend Bunny Cosmetics one is so good. It is so creamy and so wonderful. I'm just gonna grab any brush here. As you can see, I'm making quite the dent in it. It is so good. It's right there on the top. Just very black, very creamy. It stays put. I really like this one. This is my go-to product when I'm doing a very thick, heavy black wing to layer shimmers on top of. It is just fan-freaking-tastic. I love this one. One more liner before we move on is I love the Gainesville Beauty Retro liners. I do have a black one in Disco Fever, but I can't find it. So I'm gonna talk about the gray one today instead. It's in the shade Graphite. It looks like that. It literally looks like what it looks like in the pan, so I'm not gonna grab water and activate it, but basically, you just take a little bit of water. I usually pour some in the cap and I'll swirl my little liner brush in it and then swirl the water into the product and just kind of go back and forth until this has a really good creamy consistency. You don't want it too drippy, but you don't want it too dry. And these are just so glidey and wonderful. I really enjoy playing with water activated liners. I think they're fun. And this is a really good one as well. The Disco Fever one in black, but also the gray one in Graphite. I think it's a really pretty shade of gray. This one's like kind of unrelated, but it's still black. So I figured I would throw it in this video also. The House of Lashes Dark Lash Adhesive. This is a must-have for me. This is my go-to, especially when I'm doing winged liner, because I want to make sure the glue matches the wing so I don't have to cover it up later. But not only that, I use this every time I wear lashes by applying it directly on the band itself so that the band doesn't get all that white gunky goo. I do 2 layers of glue. I'll do a thin layer of the dark one on my lashes, and then I'll take the normal clear one, which is over here somewhere. This one, the clear House of Lashes glue. I'll do a thin line of it right up against my lashes just so that it can kind of magnetize together when I do apply my lashes. I let it sit for like a solid 2.5 minutes before I stick it on, and it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. But the dark one is definitely a must-have for me. I feel like it makes the application a lot better for me. It doesn't have a bunch of white gunk that I have to cover up later. This is just, I have to have it. And now, getting into lipsticks, I have 4 that I'm in love with. Let me get to my favorite one first. All-time favorite black liquid lipstick is Black Moon Cosmetics Sleepwalker. I've raved about this for years. It has a really nice wand. I love the look of it. It's right there on top. So black, so wonderful. This is totally matte. I personally wear a little bit of a lip balm or a lip mask under every lip product ever. So for me, it doesn't dry down 100% because I have that barrier. But that's just because I like to let my lips breathe and have that comfort. But if you didn't wear anything like that underneath, it does dry 100% matte, 100% transfer proof. It's very comfortable. I don't notice on me personally these get dry and cracky or anything, and I love it. The only time any of these lip products that I'm gonna talk about today break down are if I were to eat something super oily, but for the most part, these last all day for me. My second favorite one probably is from Melt Cosmetics. It's in the shade Shade. I love the Melt Cosmetics liquid lipsticks. They are so comfy. I love the wand. It's right there on the top. Also super duper black. I love the way this wand bends around my lips. I feel like this specific formula always makes my lips look really good. I don't even know how to explain it. Fantastic as well. Next is the Kaleidos Lip Clay in the shade Scorpion Fruit. I love the lip clays. They're very pillowy feeling. They go on like a regular liquid lipstick, but then they dry down kind of powdery, but they're just so comfortable and lightweight. I forget these are on my lips. They are so good. This one in particular is really cool because it's almost a purple based black. So I don't really know how to explain it, but the undertone is just slightly different. I mean, they all just look black, right? But it just has a slightly different undertone. It doesn't have like that green base that a lot of blacks tend to have. It's really, really nice. And last liquid lipstick is Cricket from Menagerie. This is older packaging. Their packaging is a little bit slimmer now, and the doe foot has more of a point. This is quite an old one. Honestly, I'll probably need to replace it at some point, but it's right there. Again, just super black, super comfortable. I love all four of these. I rotate between all of them. Even though Sleepwalker is my #1 favorite, I do try to use just different things here and there, and I hold all of those near and dear to my heart. And I love all the things I talked about today. And that is the roundup of my favorite black products. I don't have any glosses to talk about because a black glossy lip just isn't my vibe, and if I was really craving one, I would just throw a clear gloss on top of any of those liquid lipsticks. Again, I don't really have black shimmers because I'll just tap whatever topper I want on top of any black eyeshadow, but these are my core favorites if I'm looking for something black. These are what I'm gonna go to every single time, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Have you tried any of these? Do you want any of these? Also, what are your favorite black or gray or both makeup products in your collection? I would love to hear from you down below. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you leave some black and gray emojis down below? And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me on my other socials. You can join the Baddie Bean fam. I am Baddie Bean on everything, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And if you want, you can subscribe. If you want to see more of my videos, I'm posting most days here as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye. I mean, I guess obviously let me know if you want to see more of this series. I'm just intending on doing more in this series, but if you hate this idea, let me know and I simply won't do it.